Douglas Sloan, let's talk about that term woke and the whole movement called wokeism. It's very controversial. I mean, it's ridiculed by some people. Others think it's not such a bad idea. There was an article actually in Bloomberg which said that there is a positive side to wokeism. It brings attention to things like racism and social injustice. Do you agree with that?
I do, to the extent that the original term, as your piece had pointed out, had to do with cultural and race awakening of people that of black people in the United States that Marcus Garvey had originally termed, and it caught fire again in the 90s when my generation, Generation X, was running around with, Lions of Judah and Africa's around our neck in African garb, saying Assalamu alaikum, and being cognizant and aware of institutionalized racism, of systematic oppression, of all these different institutions in ways that that were essentially hurting black people and people of color in this country and preventing us from moving forward economically and socially. So to an extent, being woke is good. However, we've seen the right has completely co-opted the term into being something negative.
Right.
How can being awakened to social injustice be negative? It shouldn't be, but it is.
Well, that's
in eyes of the right.
yeah, there are positive sides, Douglas, as you point out. But what do you say to those who say, look, and they're not necessarily on the right wing. They are people who say, look, this is preachy, it is self-righteous, it is alienating, and most importantly, it deflects attention away from actually addressing those problems.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that. You can get into the different factions of either party or either movement that are a bit extreme. For example, when some people say fund the police, the original idea behind defund the police, the original idea behind defund the police was to direct some of the money and resources used towards law enforcement towards preventative measures in our urban centers to try to get at crime at its root, to address some of the social inequities that we find throughout this country. But then some people within the movement on the left said, no, we actually don't want any police in our cities, which is crazy. You obviously must have police to address issues regarding crime. But that's kind of what you get at. You have some people that maybe take the meaning and twist it away from its original intent. And when that happens, that can cause problems on both sides.